December 19th, 2025. Guys, I wanted to look at the local weather or the National Weather Center and check our local weather. I think it's going to be about 31 degrees by daylight or early in the morning here in central Mississippi. But I saw something right here, and I did a video several years ago about this very area, and a situation like this was setting up, and you don't see it very often, and it's going to be very dangerous. Let me pull that up just a little. What you're looking at before I do, though, you've got in the purple, you've got winter weather advisories. And what is happening in this brown, I guess you would call it, guys, is very high wind warnings. And then look right here in front edge, and we're talking about coming out of the Rocky Mountains into Colorado through here. That is red flag warnings. It's been very dry there, and we may be getting 80, you guys there may be seeing 85-mile-per-hour winds with red flag conditions. And they're talking about you could have power lines down, and that's a spark. And if you remember, I don't remember the year I did the video, 3, 4, 5 years ago, we got thousands of hit, a couple 100,000, was that this situation set up, and then a series of apartments. It looks like somewhere between Boulder and Golden in the videos. They just burned to the ground. Fire swept across this whole complex. You guys remember that? This looks like a very similar situation. Let's take a look at it. Now, this was just updated, guys, at 7:20 MST, Mountain Standard Time. And you're looking at Castle Rock, Colorado Springs, Pueblo, Cannon City. Here's Boulder, Fort Collins, right up that line. And it's a beautiful area, but you're looking at this, I guess it's called the Front Range there on the east side or the right side coming off the Rockies. I've been at the base of the Rockies in Boulder and in Denver, but right at Boulder, guys, coming out of that, it's sheer cliffs that look like they're 2,000 feet high. Anyway, high wind warnings, red flag warnings, winter weather advisories, hazardous weather outlook. And this winter weather coming in behind it is what's pushing, just like you'll see it push rain through our area, it's pushing this high wind through a very dry area. And they're talking about, again, the dangers of power lines falling and sparks, things like that. So you guys, you're probably already starting to see the winds pick up, but let's look at what they're saying. Guys, and because of the high winds, this could get out of hand very quickly. This is coming out of Denver, Colorado tonight. And it's not just Colorado. You notice it extended a little further north and south. But Larimer County below 6,000 feet. Northwest Weld County, Boulder, and Jefferson counties below 6,000 feet. West Broomfield County, including the cities of Lakewood, Nunn, Fort Collins, Loveland, Arvada, Hereford, Boulder, Golden, and Longmont. Guys, you know where that area is at. Now, that should be getting out of your area in an hour or two because you're dealing with Mountain Standard Time, but you're saying west winds coming over those mountains and down that slope, guys, 20 to 35 miles per hour with gusts up to 75. That's Cat 1 hurricane. And when you got red flag warnings and they're telling you already that you're going to have power lines down, then that's the recipe for disaster as far as fires. And where Boulder in the western suburbs of Denver, western Fort Collins, and I-25 corridor north of Wellington. Now, it's saying that wind's going to die off after 8 p.m. tonight, I guess. What is it there now? It's either 725 or 625. But the damaging winds may blow down trees and power lines. Scattered power outages are possible. Travel will be difficult, especially for high-profile vehicles. Strong winds will lead to the rapid fire growth of any new fire. Again, because of the power line situation, this is a real possibility. So you guys are in those counties, anywhere along that Boulder, Denver, Fort Collins area, then you pay very close attention, and you've got a couple more hours left of this as far as the peak of it. Now, coming out this afternoon, Denver Boulder area, this is a particularly dangerous situation for in and immediately adjacent to the foothills between 5,500 and 9,000 feet for Boulder and Jefferson counties on Friday. I've been on that highway, guys, that goes up through the mountains, goes from Boulder back around to Golden and drops you back down into Denver. It's beautiful country. It says strong west winds of 30 to 40 miles per hour with gusts as high as 85 in the foothills of Boulder and northern Jefferson counties will continue until early evening. Relative humidity values have dropped into the upper single digits, guys, and there's a lot of activity that when you're dealing with places like that all the way up through Canada, you get those type of humidity drops like that, then they will shut down everything. People cutting wood, big timber operations and everything, because just a spark from a chainsaw can start a fire. So they have to have humidity detectors on the job. And what we're talking about, again, high winds and the chance for fire. They're saying that winds will persist through much of the night with only a slow improvement in humidity values. Thus, near critical red flag conditions will occur until early Saturday morning. Now, the peak of it, again, they're trying to get through that in a couple of hours, but here they're saying again, the winds will persist through much of the night. While most of the Denver metro area has been lighter winds, and they prevail most of the day, a period of strong gusty winds is expected to develop this evening and likely past midnight, producing red flag conditions there. And what we're looking at, the other factor was that winter storm warning and watch pushing these winds over the mountains. So it's just not a good situation. The weather's getting crazier by the month right now. We've seen it for the last few years. But guys, just keep a heads up and keep your eye on it. You would, if I were you, I'd keep some kind of news and weather on. If you got a radio or some kind of scanner that works with the National Fire Service, or you know what you've got in your area. Just keep an eye on everything. It's going to be dangerous until probably into Saturday morning. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. And then you've got more than likely a winter storm coming in after that. It's a heads up, guys. Be safe.